Dzień dobry, witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie. Nazywam się Katarzyna
Good
Dziwulska, jestem
afternoon,
dyrektorem
ladies and gentlemen. My name is Katarzyna Dziwulska. I'm the director
i mam
of the
zaszczyt
Strategy
przeprowadzić
and
dla
Digital
Państwa dzisiejsze
Transformation
wydarzenie.
Division,
Szanowni Państwo,
and it's my honor
mamy
to
przyjemność
moderate this
rozpocząć
event.
dzisiejsze
Ladies and
spotkanie,
gentlemen,
w
we
czasie
have a
którego zostanie
pleasure to
zaprezentowana
start
strategia
today's meeting
PKO Banku Polskiego na lata
that is about the strategy of PKO Bank
2023-2025.
Polski
Bardzo się
for
cieszę, że po miesiącach wytężonej pracy
2023-2025, and I'm really
możemy się
happy
dziś
that
z Państwem
after
spotkać
the
i podzielić
months
przemyślaną
of the
strategią,
tremendous
której
effort,
hasło
we are
brzmi
able to
przygotowani
share
do
with you
wyzwań,
today
nastawieni na przyszłość.
the new strategy,
Wypracowanie głównych
where we are
celów i
prepared
priorytetów
to face the
strategii
challenges and
odbywało się
oriented towards the
trudnych
future.
i wymagającym
We were
czasie.
developing the
Otoczenie, w
strategy
którym
during
działa
the
obecny nasz
demanding and
bank,
difficult
jest
time. The
zmienne.
environment
Jesteśmy
in which
świadomi
we
tych
operate
wyzwań.
is
Chcemy
highly
i
volatile.
potrafimy je
We are
dobrze
fully
wykorzystać.
aware of the
Budując
challenges
bank
and
na
we
fundamencie
want
naszych głównych
to
przewag
take
konkurencyjnych,
advantage
skali,
of the challenges that we
cyfrowości
face. We
i
want to build a
stabilności.
bank based on the
Strategia,
competitive
którą Państwu
advantage,
przedstawimy, to nasza
digitalization
odpowiedź na trendy
and the
i
scale.
wyzwania w otoczeniu rynkowym,
The strategy that we are
pozwolą nam
presenting
rosnąć
is our
nawet w niepewnych
response to the
czasach.
trends and
Teraz
challenges in
na
the
scenę
market
zapraszam
environment
Pawła
that is
Gruza,
highly uncertain.
wiceprezesa zarządu
Now let me
PKO
invite
Banku
Paweł
Polskiego,
Gruz,
kierującego
the
pracami zarządu, który
Deputy
przybliży
President of the Management Board
najważniejsze
of
założenia
PKO
naszej
BP.
nowej
He's in
strategii
charge
na
of
najbliższe 3
the
lata.
day-to-day
Panie
work
prezesie,
of the
oddaję
Management
panu
Board,
głos.
and he will cast more light on the core pillars of the upcoming strategy.
Szanowni Państwo, jestem
Ladies
bardzo
and
miło
gentlemen,
gościć Państwa na naszym
we are
wydarzeniu,
really happy
bardzo
to
ważnym dla
host
nas
you today.
wydarzeniu.
This is a very
Prezentacji
important
strategii
event to
PKO
all of
Banku
us.
Polskiego na
Today we
najbliższe
are
lata
sharing the strategy of
2023-2025.
PKO Bank Polski
przejdziemy do
for
meritum, chciałbym pokrótce
2023-2025.
cechy naszej strategii,
Before
które
we
są
get
według
to
mnie
the
unikalne. Po pierwsze, nasza strategia
essence,
to nie
let
jest
me
wynik
highlight
pracy
two
jedynie
things that are
zarządu,
unique about the strategy.
doradcy,
This strategy
ale
has
może
not been
nawet
conceived
przede
by the
wszystkim
management board
wynikiem
and
zaangażowania
consultants,
szerokiej reprezentacji
but
pracowników.
it is taking on board inputs from a broad group of the staff of our bank and the entire capital group that I see in the room, and I want to welcome cordially. And because of this engagement of our people, this strategy is not only ambitious, but it is highly pragmatic and suitable for swift operations. We know that many of our customers and clients are embracing themselves to survive the very tough challenges that we are about to face over the next few quarters. Having such a capital and financial position as we have within the bank, we can really think creatively about the development and the new products that we may add on to our product offering and value proposition. I want to assure all the shareholders that this sound foundation makes us well prepared for the upcoming quarters and years. And to finalize this introduction, let me mention and refer to the key claim that we adopted for the strategy, that we are ready to face the challenges and we are prepared to face the future. So we are all set to go forward and go fully operational with the strategy. So let me start with the environment. The environment is impacting everyone, our organization and our customers and clients. Historically speaking, we live in the time of the greatest uncertainty, and that uncertainty affects all the aspects of our activities. It also affects our mental condition. We are facing a lot of uncertainties in the regulatory framework, and that has direct impact on our capital and on our profitability. We are fighting and competing for talents, for technological advantage, and all these things take a lot of capital expenditure from both the bank and our customers. Likewise, the life of the society is evolving, the life of our customers and staff members is changing as we speak. The feeling of safety and security has been wiped away, and therefore people have different choices now when they think about meeting their needs and investing their surpluses, their money. Everyone is seeking stability and balance. So these are external factors. Internal factors are our strengths. Unique advantage that our bank has. We need to incorporate them in our strategy. First of all, the scale of our operation, which is also the legacy of the hard work of previous generations and the previous management boards. This is the legacy that has to be the funding block for the future. And this is also the commitment to make brave decisions to face and live up to the challenges. Another advantage that we need to keep is technological advantage. This is our capability to generate new technological solutions and set new standards in the marketplace. This is an important leverage that we are going to use. Certainly. Another strength is our stability, our capital and financial preparedness to meet the needs of our customers from the corporate sector and clients from the retail sector. We will always support Polish economy, and we will always live up to the challenge of good risk management. And we intend to have a conservative mindset when it comes to risk. Our strategy is based on 7 pillars. Let me remind you that the previous strategy had 4 pillars: innovation, digitalization, competence, and accessibility. Now we add on important pillars. We want to be customer-centric, and also we want to focus on our employees. But we add to the pillars ESG, a very comprehensive treatment of ESG. We want to harness the synergy of the capital group, and we want to grow inorganically through mergers and acquisitions. These are new additions to the strategy. We will discuss them in detail. They provide a holistic picture of the ecosystem where individual components fit in and support each other. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to share with you our conceptual thinking behind the strategy, and I invite you to hear the details that will be provided by members of the management board. Thank you. Thank you. Our president said that we have 7 pillars of the new strategy. The first pillar is customer at the center and banking that is aligned with the new lifestyle. And this will be covered by Max Kraczkowski. Over to you. Good afternoon. PKO Bank Polski is, as you know, the largest Polish bank. 11 million customers and clients have trust and confidence in us. And you know very well that we deserve the name of the safe digital banking institution. And 7 million users use our mobile app. When we present the strategy, many people who are with us today in the room, but also join us remotely, probably think how the leader can take advantage of all these capabilities that they have on board, and how we are going to structure our appetite for the future in terms of development of the product offering, digital services, or security. And this is the answer to this question. For our bank, the customer is definitely in the center of our attention. Now, a few critical factors will definitely determine the final delivery of the strategy. We want to put the capabilities of our colleagues into good use, and based on that, we want to develop the value added for all the stakeholders of the bank. Please note that the pillars that we are showing on this slide that will become foundation for the future development of the bank can be summarized in simple terms: the accessible and friendly bank. The very fact that we are accessible and customer-centric doesn't mean that we are not subject to further transformation. As I said, we want to be customer-centric, and that means that each customer and each client will be given more attention, and our product offering will be more tailor-made. Simplification is the new cultural code. We want to simplify our product offering. We want to simplify the processes and the language that we use when we communicate with the customers and clients, so that the product offering of the bank and the capital group at large is more accessible, friendly, and helps enhance the relationship. We also move towards hyper-personalization. This is a very dynamic development. So during the time that is of the convenience to the client and in the channels that are preferred by the customer, we will present the best possible product offer. And we do hope that they will embrace it. We are going to be top 3 NPS bank in the Polish banking sector within each customer group. This is our strategic commitment. As a bank, we need to control the costs, but we are also aware of the fact that today our clients expect us to have physical outlets in all the counties of Poland. We have presence in 97 counties, and altogether we have 1,300 physical locations that help support our relationship with clients and customers. And this is where we can prepare our customers to move into the digital world that we developed for them. Despite the pandemic, we were able to open up 130 new branches that are economic and customer-friendly. They are modern and they meet another important criterion, namely, they support automatic cash withdrawal without any face-to-face intervention, which means that we are able to curb the waiting lines in the branches, and at the same time, our advisors have more time to interact with the clients and customers in other areas. As I have said, we are increasing the number of branches that offer safe and easy cash withdrawals, and we are betting on automation of services. We are modernizing 150 outlets that will also meet the modern format criteria. This is another strategic commitment that we make as a bank. I have already said that, but I would like to draw your attention to the mobile app and the digital services that we offer. Q3 2022, 172 million performed in ICO app. Well, we are proud of that, but this is also an evidence that the format of the digital services that we offer to our customers meets their needs, and we are good at what we do. So we are really happy to be #1 in the European digital banking ranking. Radical digitization and the financial system that is also using AI, digital mortgage and behavioral biometrics used to uncover frauds. This is the new digital world that we continue to improve as we speak. The digitization of processes will help us use the services without
product offering, a number of issues here. First of all, the offering has to be simplified in terms of lending and in terms of deposits. It's an important element and we mustn't forget about that part too. And finally, financing energy transition. This is something we need to keep developing. We need to be an advisor to our clients as far as green transformation is concerned. They will want to use our know-how, and we will be a partner who supports them in this difficult world of energy transition and ESG in general. And if necessary, we will also provide the financing for that. Now, what are our measurable targets? We assume that by 2025, 40% of our sales processes will be done remotely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, since the first days of the Russian aggression against Ukraine, our bank has joined in a campaign for Ukraine. Mr. Brzeczkowski will now discuss what we have been doing and what we continue to do. Credo Bank is an important asset in our capital group. It's a bank whose development we've been investing in for many years. It's got a great management team, it's got a great potential, and it's a bank that some time ago, before the outbreak of the war, launched a leasing company which would contribute to its performance in Ukraine even further. Right now, it is very much involved in all sorts of aid programs for our friends from Ukraine. Now, there are certain advantages that Credo Bank and PKO Bank Polski has managed to develop so far. Now, what I would like to draw your attention to is that the time to transfer, what I'm looking is a bank transfer, is 1.5 hours in our case. It is the fastest bank transfer between the EU and Ukraine. No other EU country comes close to this speed. We're helping in the exchange of hryvnias, the Ukrainian currency, and we've undertaken a number of activities to help Ukrainian citizens work with PKO in Poland. The cash machines, our call centers, and our website are also available in Ukrainian. We want to make sure that the customer experience is as good as it can be. Before the beginning of the Russian aggression, we had 270,000 customers in Ukraine. Recent months, in over 500,000 new bank accounts opened by Ukrainians in Poland. As we make sure that Credo Bank grows, we also remember about the overarching objectives that our shareholders want to achieve. We want to help Ukraine, so we're also providing professional aid and advice about how to absorb EU funding for the reconstruction of Ukraine. We also provide support for Polish businesses, both here in Poland and in Ukraine, to support them help rebuild Ukraine when this comes to pass, in terms of rebuilding the destroyed infrastructure in Ukraine. Between 350 and 750 billion dollars will be needed according to Ukrainian governmental evaluations, and we want to be part and parcel of this process because we know that we can professionally distribute this funding, providing the necessary support for Ukrainian and Polish companies. So these are the aspirations we have. We want to be a key bank for any business that wants to enter Ukraine. We also have the moral support to use, we have moral support of our Ukrainian friends, but the business aspirations are also clear. We want to be a bank that offers Polish business people strong support inside Ukraine, because we believe this market will become safe again very soon. It'll be growing very fast, and we will help it by developing Credo Bank. Thank you. Another pillar of our strategy, ESG transformation. We are already achieving successes in it. And let me now ask Mr. Gruza to join us again. What is ESG? Not everybody knows what it understands, but it stands for having a good environment on our country, on the people, the whole society, companies, the environment and culture. Some time ago, we have published our sustainable growth objectives, and today we're talking about our comprehensive approach, and this is what we know as ESG. And we touch upon the key elements, that is the environment, the social element, and the governance. Now, these are not purely theoretical concepts. We do believe that ESG can make it possible for us to discover new business opportunities by providing targeted financing, and this will also help individuals, for example, by providing energy savings in their homes. So the ESG offering is an experts hub or an advisory hub that will make it possible for all of our customers and clients to get the necessary information and to prepare the financing for projects like these. We want to be the first choice bank for all of our customers. Now, all these elements, the environment, social and governance, will be addressed. For the environment, we're also working in terms of limiting our own impact on the environment. We have some targets. We want to become climate neutral by 2030. We will develop an emissions reduction path for Scope 3, and we will have a comprehensive offer for anyone who wants to carry out these changes. In terms of the social aspect, we have a very broad offer there, and we will also focus on education and fighting digital exclusion for senior citizens, among others. And in terms of governance, we want to use best practices, and we've got some other objectives about employee satisfaction and also equal opportunities at work, with some very concrete pledges, for example, having at least 40% of women in senior management positions, and as far as material risk takers are concerned, 30%.
these comprehensive measures will be coordinated by the dedicated organizational unit that we are going to set up in our organization, so that we can improve the best practice and experience sharing, not only within the bank, but also within the entire capital group. Thank you. And now let me invite Wojciech Iwanicki, the VP, who will speak about managing the bank's assets. Ladies and gentlemen, the ESG strategy will also impact our asset management practices. So, using our experience with the reduction of the direct and indirect emission to 62%, we have the ambitious and challenging plan to reach the neutrality by 2030. We are going to reduce the square footage of our offices to make sure that the new office area lives up to the highest environmental standards. We will take on new initiatives to make sure that we are able to use alternative energy sources. And we continue to develop our eco-friendly vehicle fleet. All these measures will also take into account the satisfaction and well-being of our employees. The workplaces are being set up in such a way that they are in line with the top standards, and at the same time, we intend to support the hybrid work model. So these initiatives were developed together with our employees. As a result, we will be able to attain our goals in the asset management area, assets of the bank. But the key to the smooth implementation of this process is the turnaround of our procurement process. So, responsible and reliable operation of the procurement processes is a cornerstone for smooth operation of any company. Therefore, we are switching to the digital system. We are going to develop the new procurement system based on the state-of-the-art technologies. As a result, we will be able to monitor our suppliers to see whether they comply with ESG standards. And by that, we will continue our efforts to further reduce our emissions. So today, we would like to invite all the suppliers who keep the sustainable development as close to their hearts as we do. Thank you. And now it's time for the pillar number 5, and this is technologies and future-ready operations. So first, let me invite Artur Kurtweil, our VP, who will cast more light on technologies.
Dzień dobry Państwu.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The development of technology has been a strategy of this bank for years, and it's not going to change in the strategy for the upcoming 2023 through 2025. We are well advanced on our digitization journey, and we are not going to stop here. We are going to continue and expand our efforts across various areas. The critical thing is smooth cooperation between IT and business, having in mind top security measures. The agile model helps us being resilient. As a result, we are fairly resistant to crises. We were able to sail fairly smoothly through the COVID pandemic, and everything that happens beyond our eastern border has not really affected the banking of our customers. We are also prepared for the demographic changes that are coming. In the agile methodology that we employed, we are addressing the challenges that will becoming in with the new generations joining our bank as customers. What we do is well known to everyone in the market, to analysts and IT specialists. We were awarded for these efforts on many occasions, and that keeps us going and motivated because we hold the bar very high for ourselves. As I said, we really need to make sure that we have a good interface between IT and business areas, paying attention to security. The SecOps and the agile approach to system design and development is the key solution to that. We need to be cost-minded and we need to improve our cost efficiency. To achieve that, we will have more robots on board, and we will use low-code, no-code solutions that will certainly facilitate and accelerate the development and the launch of new products in the market. There are many different examples that I may quote, but let me use one. Previous speakers and my colleagues that will speak after me will be referring to IT, since IT or ICT can be used across all the operations of the bank. We are part of the huge ecosystem, and ICO is a good representation of that. This is an app that has 7 million users. Every week, we have approximately 50 million users logging into our digital channels. If each of them clicks 10 times, they leave 500 million digital footprints. Gathering data is an important thing, but it's critical to be able to explore this data, to make meaningful conclusions, and to obviously cater to the needs of the clients based on that. And on top of it, to make sure that there is top security and we are able to build digital twins in the digitalization world. Security is definitely of critical importance to us. Basically, the quicker we can have cybersecurity on board during the product development, the safer we are in terms of transactions and customer security. DeskSecOps will be definitely implemented. It's focused on the integration of IT, business, and cybersecurity. Agile transformation. This is the way to go. This is what we are going to do to make sure that our products are launched faster, are developed better, and meet the customer's needs. We understand that the user experience and customer experience is a very important thing to younger generations. So we are not going to rest on our laurels, but we are going to identify new possible channels to reach out to our clients and customers. We are experimenting with metaverse, not only as an access channel, but also using NFT, tokenization, and we are experimenting with the cyber currency, because sooner or later, cyber currencies will make their way into the ecosystem of our bank. So these are 4 things that we are going to be focused on: data, cybersecurity, DevSecOps, and the cloud. And the cloud is not only about being agile, being able to operate with great speed, but in addition to the cost efficiency, it gives us leverage in terms of the speed of operations. We can experiment using the flexibility and scalability of our cloud. And we make a promise that over the next 3 years of our strategy, we are able to reduce the product cycle development twice by the multiplier of 2. So we are going to introduce AI, and we are going to use the cloud, which gives us flexibility and scalability, and it will be all encompassed in the ESG transformation, because we are also part of it. Thank you. Thank you. And the other part of this pillar, namely the operations, will be covered by our Vice President Mieczysław Król. Well, operations include contact center. So let me welcome you with our daily slogan, PKO, dzień dobry, PKO, good day. The technology is very important, but banking is all about people. It's our people who stand behind the operations and transactions. And recently, we got the new hire, the digital employee, the robot, and as a result, our operations have been transformed tremendously during the past few years. We were able to make quite impressive accomplishments here, and in 2020, we delivered the new technologies, and we delivered new processes that are covered by robots. Every day, we generate millions of transactions. Therefore, every time we improve the efficiency, and every time we bring in new improvement, we have direct effect on customer satisfaction, on NPS, but also on the bottom line that we generate as a bank. Therefore, I am proud to say that our operations have went through a deep down transformation during the past few years in terms of technology and in terms of processes. And when you look at this pillar of the strategy, well, we may say that with the engagement of our people, we were able to introduce and implement 220 robotized processes. As a result, we reduced labor intensity by 11%, and we were able to double the number of tasks that are performed and completed. We are truly proud of that, and our appetite is still growing here. The goals that we are striving to achieve. One, we want to unleash additional optimization potential across the organization. So what is needed here? Well, first, it's a cross-functional collaboration of the whole bank. We need to simplify the product portfolio, and we need to simplify the processes. To put it simply, we need to simplify. We need full digitization and hyper-automation of all the systems from front to back. And we need to continue to optimize our operations through the shared services center. So as you can see, we have very challenging plans and goals, and we intend to deliver all these ambitious objectives. And despite the level of the challenge, I'm quite confident that we are going to deliver that. Thank you. I would like to thank all the VPs, and now we have two other pillars: culture of innovation and agility, PKO Bank of Talents, and using the leveraging bank's strong position for inorganic growth. And let me invite President Paweł Gruza to cover these two pillars. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard about all these challenging goals that our board members discussed. To make sure that we are able to deliver them, we have to modernize our organizational culture. The changes that we see in the society are impacting our customers and our employees. We compete for talent with banks, with fintechs. Many of them are international players. We have to build a robust and well-motivated team. Therefore, we are going to make our employment offering highly attractive for the employees. We run the employee satisfaction surveys. We are reviewing the results of the survey, and this is our goal, to improve employees' NPS by 20 basis points. So this is a hard commitment that we take as an organization vis-à-vis our employees, and we are going to leverage the play field for all the groups.
do kolejnej bardzo ważnej
So now let me
części
move
naszej
on to another
strategii,
important
filaru
part
M&A.
of our strategy, and this is M&A.
Nasza pozycja kapitałowa,
Mergers and
nasza pozycja
acquisitions.
finansowa, o której mówiłem
Our
na samym
capital
początku, właśnie
position
daje
and
nam te
financial
możliwości, być
position
może, którym,
gives us the
innym bankom
opportunity
brakuje.
that other
Będziemy
banks
aktywnie
may not
monitorować
have.
sytuację
We are
rynkową,
going to have
co do
active monitoring
realistycznych
of the
możliwości
market
dokonywania
to
przejęć,
identify
tak,
realistic
aby
opportunities
budować
for
nasze
mergers and
dodatkowe
acquisitions,
kompetencje,
so that
których
we are
myślę,
able to
że
develop
organiczna
the
budowa by zajęła
additional
wiele
competence
czasu.
that may
Będziemy
take too
patrzeć na
long
możliwości
to
zwiększenia
grow
naszych
them
wyników finansowych
organically.
poprzez
We will also try to
synergie
see
kosztowe
whether we
czy
can improve
przychodowe.
our bottom line through the cost
Jeszcze
synergies or
umacnianie
revenues
naszej pozycji
synergies,
rynkowej,
and we
czy to
want to
w
enhance and further improve our market position, whether geographically or in specific market segments.
To także szansa,
Acquisitions
ta też, o której mówiłem wcześniej,
is yet another opportunity to acquire new talent for our team. Thank you.
Bardzo dziękuję pani prezesie. Szanowni państwo,
Thank you.
zmienne otoczenie
Ladies and
utrudnia nam
gentlemen,
do tego, aby o
a volatile
zarządzaniu ryzykiem
environment
powiedzieć państwu jasno i odpowiedzialnie.
makes it very clear that we have to be very responsible when we speak about risk management. The VP Piotr Mazur will join me on stage to cast more light on risk management within PKO BP.
Dzień dobry Państwu.
Good afternoon, ladies and
Przewaga
gentlemen.
dzięki ludziom, technologii,
Competition that is driven by people, technology, and data, comparative advantage that we are able to get. My colleague spoke about data.
największą
It is true that PKO BP has the largest database in Poland, but when it comes to risks, there are three things that truly matter: people, data, and technology.
PKO Bank Polski
PKO
od wielu lat
BP
inwestuje
for years have invested in these three pillars. And today,
najlepsze zespoły analityczne,
we have the best analytical teams in
systemy
Poland.
decyzyjne
We have
oparte
decision-making
na najnowszych
systems that are driven by the
Mamy środowisko
latest
analityczne
technologies.
na chmurze.
We have our analytics in the
nowoczesne
cloud,
modele
and
machine
we
learning
have
dla
the
decyzji
modern machine
i dla
learning models for decision-making
Podsumowując,
processes
PKO Bank
and
Polski
for valuation
najlepszych ludzi,
purposes. So to
najwięcej
sum up,
danych
we have the best people, we have
zainwestował w
most
odpowiednim
data,
czasie
and we have
najnowsze
invested at the right time
To
in
są
the
nasze
most advanced
trzy
technologies.
filary wzrostu.
So these are the three pillars that will fuel
I
and
wchodząc
drive our
w
growth.
strategię wchodzimy z bardzo dobrymi
So
podstawami.
when we launch our strategy, we have an excellent launching pad. We have the largest capital surplus across the capital sector in Poland. We have excellent credit portfolio in terms of quality. And we have one of the best
To nie jest tylko dobry start
coverage ratios,
strategii.
provision
To jest
coverage
również
ratio.
bezpieczeństwo,
This is not only a good starting point, this is also
Inwestycje
being safe in the times of uncertainty. When you invest in new technologies, you may expect tangible results. Transaction analysis, geolocalization, and modern machine learning models, new technologies, all these things help us reduce the costs of risk. But let me tell you more.
Jednocześnie
We are able to
zwiększać
curb
udziały.
the costs of risk, but at the same time, we are able to grow our market share.
Na
And
szczęście mamy
this
coś
is
jeszcze
not
do
a
zrobienia.
small feat that everyone can
Musimy
do,
przenieść
but there is
wszystkie
more
środowiska
thing that we need to
na
do.
chmurę.
We have to migrate
Musimy
all the
rozszerzyć
environments into the
zastosowanie
cloud.
zaawansowanej
We have
analityki do
to
wszystkich obszarów.
bring advanced analytics in all the areas:
restrukturyzacja,
retail,
ryzyko
corporate,
operacyjne i
restructuring,
ryzyko rynkowe.
operational
Już
risks,
dzisiaj
and the market risks.
potrafimy na podstawie
Already
transakcji
today,
kartowych
based on
ocenić
the
ryzyko
card
klienta
transactions, we
korporacyjnego.
are able to
Czasami żartujemy na
estimate
komitecie
the
kredytowym.
corporate customer
Pół
risk.
roku
Sometimes we
wcześniej
have
wiemy, jaki
jokes
będzie
at the
wynik finansowy.
credit
Wcześniej
committee
niż
that,
CFO
half a year before we know what the company is going to have in their bottom line. So we have this insight earlier than the CEO of the company. So PKO BP is also the leader when it comes to transactions.
I to jest
We have over
siła, która daje
30%
nam,
share
że
of
widzimy
transactions.
więcej
And this is
szerzej
the strength.
i widzimy
And this is our ability to see more, to
dzięki tej
see
przewadze,
at the broader
dzięki
perspective,
nowym technologiom,
and to see
będziemy
earlier
mogli
than others. With these competitive
zwiększać
advantages and with the new
udziały rynkowe,
technologies, we
obniżać
should be able
koszty,
to grow our market
kontynuować
share, to
poprawę
curb
jakości
further
portfela
our
kredytowego.
costs, and to
Dziękuję
continue to improve the quality of our credit portfolio. Thank you.
Panie prezesie, bardzo dziękuję. Nasza prezentacja zmierza do
Thank you
punktu
very much.
kulminacyjnego. Zapraszam na scenę prezesa Pawła Gruzę,
Paweł
który
Gruza, the
przedstawi cele
CEO, will
naszej
now
nowej
present
strategii.
the high
Zapraszam,
point
panie
of
prezesie.
today's meeting, which is the objectives of the new strategy.
Dziękuję wszystkim Państwu za cierpliwość.
Thank
Dziękuję
you very
za
much for your
wysłuchanie tych
patience.
propozycji, które mamy
Thank you for listening to
strategii. W tym
the
momencie
general ideas
przychodzi
of our
czas na
strategy, but now it's
podsumowanie
time to
naszych
give you
zobowiązań
a summary
biznesowych,
of
zobowiązań
our
wszystkich
business
interesariuszy
pledges
także
that we have
inwestorów.
vis-a-vis
Tak jak mówiliśmy,
our
w centrum
clients
naszej
and
strategii
investors.
stawiamy człowieka, zarówno tego, który jest naszym
Is the
klientem,
individual person that's at the heart of
tego,
our
który
strategy,
pracuje u
our
nas
customer,
w zespole.
our employee,
Dlatego mamy pierwsze dwa
alike.
zobowiązania.
And so that's why the first two pledges are these.
NPS,
Top 3 Net Promoter Score for every customer group and customer satisfaction plus 20
Chcemy być
ENPS.
także liderem finansowania transformacji gospodarki.
We also want to be a
Tutaj
leader in
chcemy
terms of
osiągnąć
economic transformation.
pozycję lidera,
We want to
top
be
1
number
według
one
wolumenu nowego
in
finansowania
terms of new
ESG.
ESG
Chcemy
financing
być
volume.
bankiem równych szans.
We want
Już
to
o
be
tym
a
mówiłem.
bank of equal
30%
opportunities.
kobiet na
And like I said, 30% of women in these top positions, so-called material risk taker
bankiem
positions.
cyfrowym, liderem
We want to be a
cyfrowości.
digital
Chcemy
bank, a
mieć
leader
100%
in the digital.
intuicyjnej
We want to
obsługi
have
cyfrowej naszych
100%
klientów. Jest to
intuitive
bardzo
digital
ambitne
service for our
zobowiązanie,
customers.
ale tak jak
Now, this is
patrzę na
very
prezesa,
ambitious,
na pewno dowieziemy.
but I'm sure we will deliver it.
Bank młodych plus 25% przyrost
We want
bazy
to be a
klientów
bank for
primary
young
poniżej
people,
35
plus
roku życia
25% in terms of the
versus
number of
historyczne wyniki.
customers under
I
35 years old.
bardzo ważna
And a very
rzecz
important thing
od strony przychodowej,
from
od
the point of
strony
view of our
wyniku,
revenues,
od
our
strony
financial performance,
efektywności kapitału,
also capital
to jest
efficiency.
grupa kapitałowa banku,
Now looking at
budowanie
the
dalszych
capital
synergii
group,
wewnątrz
we want to
grupie,
keep
plus
developing our
20%
synergies
wzrost
and
przychodów
have plus
pozabankowych
20% in
grupy
increase of
kapitałowej.
non-bank
Dziękuję bardzo.
income for the group. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Prezentowanie
Gruza.
celów finansowych. Proszę,
Let me
poproszę
now
wiceprezesa Bartosza Drabikowskiego. Bardzo
Bartosz
proszę, panie prezesie.
Drabikowski, the Deputy CEO, to present the financials.
Dzień dobry. Szanowni Państwo, prezes Paweł i koledzy z zarządu przedstawili cele i kierunki rozwoju strategicznego grupy PKO Banku Polskiego. w
Ladies and
kolejnych
gentlemen, we
3
have
latach.
heard
Mnie
the
jako
strategic
CFO
assumptions
pozwolę tylko
behind
opisać
our plans
to
for the coming years.
językiem
As
uniwersalnym,
the
językiem,
CFO,
pokazać
I
to z
want to
perspektywy
tell you the
naszych
same in
akcjonariuszy.
the universal
Ale zanim pokażę
language
ten
of
slajd, na który
numbers.
czekacie ostatni z
Before I
celami
give you
stricte
the
finansowymi,
last slide that
pozwólcie, że podzielę się jeszcze
includes
kilkoma
those financials,
spostrzeżeniami
let me give you some
odnośnie
other
tła i założeń,
ideas I've
które
had about the
przyjęliśmy
general
do
background
naszych projekcji strategicznych.
and also the
Przede
assumptions
wszystkim
for our strategic
to, z czym mamy do czynienia i to już
forecasts.
widać w wynikach naszych poprzednich
What we can
kwartałów,
see
nawet
here,
lat, to
it's
olbrzymi
also
wzrost
clear in the
różnego
past years,
rodzaju ryzyk.
is the
Ryzyk
huge
geopolitycznych,
growth in all sorts of risk,
makroekonomicznych, również
political
ryzyk
risk,
regulacyjnych.
macroeconomical risk,
I skala tych
regulatory
ryzyk,
risk,
bardzo mocno determinuje
and
poziom
the
wyniku
sheer
sektora
scale of
bankowego,
these
w
risks
szczególności PKO Banku
impacts
Polskiego.
the banking
Na tym
sector
slajdzie, który
very much.
prezentujemy,
And this
widać
obviously
wyraźnie,
includes PKO
że chociażby w
Bank
ostatnim roku
Polski.
te 32
Over
miliardy,
the past year,
32 miliardy złotych
we can see the
tylko
figure
dla
of
grupy 8 największych
32
banków.
billion
To jest koszt
Polish
dodatkowy.
zlotys
Dodatkowy koszt
for the
ryzyka,
top
tylko
8 Polish
regulacyjnego,
banks,
tylko tego jednego
and this is
ryzyka.
just the cost of a
Oczywiście
single
dla PKO ta
regulatory
kwota również
risk.
jest duża. Jesteśmy
It's
największym
a large
bankiem,
amount
jest
because
ponad
we
5
are the
miliardów
largest
złotych.
bank.
To jest
It's over
oczywiście
5
koszt
billion
wakacji kredytowych,
zlotys, and
to
this
jest
is
koszt,
the so-called
materializacja
credit
ryzyka prawnego,
repayment
portfela
holiday,
kredytów walutowych. To jest
the
oczywiście system ochrony
materialization
banków
of the
komercyjnych i to również
FX
fundusz wsparcia
risk from
kredytobiorców.
FX lending, the fund for the support of borrowers and other elements.
Patrząc na przyszłość widzimy,
But if we look into the future,
niestety te ryzyka będą z
what
nami
we can
dalej.
see
Miejmy nadzieję, że nie w tej
is that
skali
these risks
intensywności,
will
nie w tej
be there
skali,
with us.
w której do tej pory widzimy,
The scale might be a bit, a bit
ale
smaller,
w horyzoncie strategii, w horyzoncie
but in
następnych
terms
3 lat
of the next
widzimy
3 years,
przynajmniej 50 nowych regulacji.
we can see at
50
least
nowych regulacji,
50
które
new
będą
regulations
definiowały
coming
bardzo mocno
that will
warunki
redefine
funkcjonowania
the
sektora
conditions in
bankowego
which
w Polsce,
the banking
w
sector
Europie.
operates in Poland
To
and
3
Europe.
podstawowe grupy, przede wszystkim wymogi kapitałowe i sprawozdawcze,
Capital
ochrona
requirement and
konsumenta.
reporting, customer
Doskonale
protection,
widzimy, jak mocno potrafi to oddziaływać
and
na
this can
rentowność
impact
sektora.
a bank very
I
much
oczywiście
and the
innowacje
profitability of the
produktowe.
sector.
To jest takie
And
ryzyko,
finally,
można powiedzieć,
the
związane z
innovations
rozwojem.
in the
Często
products. These
tworzymy
are
coś
three
nowego,
groups
technologicznego, biznesowego, a dopiero
that we
potem
have to be
nadążają
concerned
za
with.
tym regulacje.
Very often we
Często
develop
regulacje
new
zresztą bardzo
technology
mocno zmieniają, czy
and only
utrudniają
then do
właśnie
the
innowacje
regulations
czy
catch
prowadzenie
up. And the
biznesu.
regulations very often make it very hard to
I
run
ostatni
a
wymiar,
business.
na który chciałem zwrócić Państwa uwagę, to
And
skala
last but not
niepewności.
least, the
Przyznam, że
scale of uncertainty.
ilustruję to też osobistym takim wątkiem. Pracuję w PKO
Now,
od 2008 roku.
been
z krótką
with PKO
przerwą, czyli
since
zacząłem się nazywać
2008.
12 rok. To
So
jest dość
it's
długa
around about
perspektywa.
12th year of my
Zaliczyliśmy
work
z
here.
koleżankami
In the
i
meantime,
kolegami,
my colleagues and myself
dwa kryzysy, dwa
have been
poważne
through
kryzysy.
two crises.
Przede wszystkim po upadku banku Lehman Brothers.
First of all, the
a
Lehman
drugi,
Brothers
po COVID-zie.
crisis, and then the
Obu
COVID
zresztą
crisis.
z dużym sukcesem
And after
grupa
each of
się
them,
odbudowała.
the
Polska
group
zresztą też. Taka przy okazji lekcja, że
rebounded
po kryzysie
very much.
z reguły jesteśmy
Incidentally,
silniejsi niż przed
we are
kryzysem.
normally stronger
Taka
after a
cecha
crisis than
naprawdę
before.
liderów
This is how we bounce
najmocniejszych
back.
gospodarek na
And this is
świecie.
quite typical of
I teraz
market
patrząc z tej
leaders and of
perspektywy, to
the most
przyznam,
resilient
że
economies
ja
in
nie
the world.
pamiętam osobiście
Now,
tej skali niepewności i
even
tej skali
though
czynników
I have
ryzyka,
all this
które
experience,
musimy
I don't
wziąć
remember
pod
ever
uwagę,
having
żeby na
that
koniec,
many
po pierwsze,
risk
prowadzić
factors.
biznes,
Then we have to
państwu
take
jeszcze
all
w
of them into
perspektywie 3
account if we
lat
want to run this
pokazać,
business
na co się
and if we want to show
umawiamy,
you
na co jesteśmy
that we
zdeterminowani.
are delivering
Zwracam
what
uwagę,
we
że w kulturze
promised.
PKO Banku Polskiego
It is
mamy
part of our
to, co nazywamy
corporate
dowożeniem.
culture
My
that we do
dowozimy.
deliver. We deliver
Dowozimy.
things.
Ilustruję to też przykładem bardzo praktycznym. COVID. Dramatyczne wydarzenie i spadek stóp procentowych.
COVID
Nieprzewidziane w
and the
poprzedniej
reduction
strategii.
in interest rates
Tego nie
were
mieliśmy w
not
poprzedniej
foreseen in
strategii.
our previous strategy.
A cele strategiczne, które
But
przyjęliśmy,
in
które
spite of
zarząd
that,
zadeklarował
if you look at the
akcjonariuszom,
strategic
zostały
goals
dowiezione,
that we declared we
uwaga,
would
rok
meet,
przed terminem. W
we
2021
actually
roku
delivered them a
dowieźliśmy
year
ROE,
before the
dowieźliśmy
deadline,
cost income
just back in
i
2021,
pozostałe cele strategiczne.
that all our strategic
A zatem
objectives had been
dlaczego
reached.
zwracam uwagę na tą
Now,
olbrzymią,
why am I
wysoką
talking
niepewność?
about
Dlatego, że
this?
chociażby
Why am I
jak sobie
mentioning the
popatrzyliśmy na
uncertainty?
ankiety obiektywnej
Well,
instytucji,
would we
czyli
looked
Narodowego Banku Polskiego,
at a
który zebrał
survey by the
ankiety
National Bank of
makroekonomiczne od najlepszych
Poland.
polskich ekonomistów, zespołów analitycznych.
It was a survey
Wiecie
of
Państwo,
the
co
forecast
wychodzi
of
z
some
tych
of the
ankiet?
top Polish
Że w Polsce
economists.
oczywiście różne prawdopodobieństwo,
The
założenia,
probability and assumptions were
kluczowe.
different.
Że w Polsce albo będzie
But
bardzo dobrze, będziemy mieli
In general, they said
4% wzrostu
that
gospodarczego,
things will either be very good in Poland, plus 4%, or a recession, minus 1%. So these are two
to co
extremes.
będzie, tak? Czy będziemy mieli wzrost 4%, czy będziemy
So
mieli recesję
which is real?
minus 1%?
Is it going to be plus 4% or is it going to be minus 1%?
Zupełnie inny
It's
wzrost
a completely different world, it's a completely different economy, different dynamics of the lending portfolio, different cost of risk, and so forth. It's 5 percentage points
I teraz
between
z tego musimy wybrać.
the best of
Oczywiście
Polish
wybraliśmy, posługując się naszym znakomitym zespołem
analytics
analitycznym,
experts.
najlepszym na rynku
Now,
zresztą. Przy
we
okazji
have
tego
what is
Piotra
the
Bujaka jest tu
best
z nami.
analytics team on the
Wybraliśmy
market,
pewien
headed by
pośredni
Piotr
stan,
Bujak.
jest podstawą
So we decided to go
naszych
for
projekcji.
an intermediary value
Ostatni slajd, na który Państwo
in terms of our
czekacie,
strategic
prawda?
projections. And this is the last
Cele
slide
finansowe.
you've all been
Stricte
looking forward to.
finansowe,
These are
które
the
mają
financial
opisać
targets,
najbliższą przyszłość
the
PKO Banku
objective of which is to describe the near future
Klasyczny zestaw
of PKO,
i klasyczny
SA,
poziom.
BP.
Dwucyfrowe ROE powyżej 12%. Zwracam
ROE
uwagę na
of
przed
over
cyframi.
12%.
Większe.
Now, it's important to look at what's before these digits. It's always bigger than. We want to have it
Następny
at
klasyczny
more than
cel
12%.
income. Jesteśmy
In cost
najefektywniejszym
income,
bankiem i
we
zamierzamy
are the most
kulturę
effective
dyscypliny
bank and we
utrzymać.
want to maintain this cost
Wskaźnik
discipline.
cost income będzie
So
poniżej 45%.
C/I is below 45%. And we want to make it much lower than
Koszt
45%.
ryzyka
The cost of risk,
90 punktów bazowych.
0.7 to 0.9%. Piotr Mazur and his
Możemy
team
się oddać w ich ręce.
guarantee that this will
Na
happen.
takim poziomie parametrów za te 4 lata się spotkamy. I to, co jest szczególnie istotne, i ta perspektywa w
Now, very
cyfrowym, co jesteśmy
importantly,
naprawdę, z przyjemnością
something that we have to emphasize
z przyjemnością jesteśmy w stanie i z dużą chęcią chcemy właśnie do tej polityki, kontynuacji polityki wypłaty dywidendy.
this is our policy of paying out the dividend.
W 2022 roku i zamierzamy
We came back to it in 2020 and want to continue. So our ability to pay the dividend is higher, and we want to expand the number of instruments available to distribute this income to our shareholders, and that's a share buyback. So not just by continuing our dividend, but also by using new instruments. And if you look at the situation on the stock market, it seems that this would be a very interesting result for many of our shareholders. As we look at these indicators, do bear in mind two more things. In our ROE, we have this assumption of increasing own capital by 60%. Now, this is in line with strategic assumptions, which I hope you can see, that the inflation will go down in 2024 or 25 to single-digit levels, and for the interest rates to also see a significant reduction. And this is what we've assumed for the strategy. So lower rates, lower inflation. How the accumulated inflation, which will be double-digit for 2 years at least, will be there with us. We look at the CPI inflation, but banks don't consume bread or milk like households. Banks consume electricity, which has gone up by nearly 100%. We consume licenses, professional services, legal, IT, so the growths are to the tune of several dozen percent. So our reference value for the banking sector that we've assumed is about 40%. All these parameters are included in the calculation of these indicators. What I think is the most important thing is that this is an investment into the future of the bank. And what we understand by it is customer satisfaction, and also translating into employee satisfaction. If these two elements are good, if we are serious about it, if we deliver what we promise, then our shareholders will be happy, because we'll have repeatable results, we'll be very highly profitable, and we'll be able to maintain or maybe even grow the potential for a buyback or dividend payout. And this is something we want to carry on our banner, so to say. Invest in customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and making the shareholders happy. Now, looking at these numbers, I believe our assumptions are very realistic. The measure of our ambition will be exceeding these indicators, and we are determined to do it. And I think we have all the necessary resources to accomplish this. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll have time for some more discussion during the Q&A.
Bardzo dziękuję, panie prezesie.
Thank you
Drodzy państwo,
very much.
przed nami sesja pytań i odpowiedzi, ale z tego miejsca chciałam bardzo podziękować całemu zarządowi za zaprezentowanie.
Before we move on to the Q&A, let me thank the Management Board for presenting the new strategy for 2023-25. And we're about to start the Q&A session. Dariusz Horyła, Director of the Investor Relations Bureau, and Dawid Dziama, Director of the Corporate Communications Department, will chair the Q&A.
Our possibilities grew from year to year. We have financed the largest domestic investments. PKO Bank Polski exceeded its founders' expectations. We are one of the major financial institutions in Central and Eastern Europe. We are also among the 500 most valuable brands in Europe and a bank with the greatest opportunities in Poland. We have inexhaustible energy reserves and still drive the economy much like 100 years ago, funding the largest ecological projects and innovative startups. We are a leader in modern, stable technological solutions, and we look boldly into the future. Thinking globally, we act locally, which is why we support culture and art. Together with you, we feel the joy and pride of our shared victories, and difficult moments unite us more. Our customers choose stability, comfort, and safety. That is why they appreciated our transaction service and the record-breaking PKO mobile app. 7 million downloads, 1.5 billion transactions. This is only the beginning, however. Together with Polish FinTech, we are conquering the metaverse and opening our first branch there to make our bank even more accessible to everyone. We are with you not only in the virtual world. You can also find us in almost every Polish city. It is here in the branches of PKO Bank Polski that we have been meeting and talking for years. Thank you for letting us accompany you at work, in business, and in your private life. We will continue to support, listen, and inspire. That is our nature. PKO Bank Polski. Hello.
Dzień dobry Państwu. Mamy cały szereg pytań od naszych widzów. Pierwsze pytanie dotyczy...
Unfortunately, the interpreters don't have the sound from the floor. We can't hear the sound, and sadly, we cannot interpret.
Dziękuję za to pytanie. Oczywiście mamy bardzo wiele nowych elementów strategicznych, o których mówiliśmy.
We have many new strategic elements.
Najważniejszych to koncentracja na...
Some of the most important ones will be focusing on the customer and customer expectations. These are the things that then tie in with other objectives we've got, like our 100% digitization of all processes for our customers. These are the most important things. Secondly, customer satisfaction. These are complementary things, they support each other, and I think this is the most important thing. ESG and any takeovers are also very important, naturally, but they will be sort of in the background. Another question is, what are your priorities to use the capital or equity surplus, organic growth, dividend, or takeovers? Well, we want to grow organically as well, and this requires a lot of money, so this is part and parcel of our financial plans in terms of the nearest period. Now, the priority is to keep our investor happy. So we want to make sure that dividend is there. But if opportunities arise, we will want to go into mergers and acquisitions if there is an opportunity. Again, there are different ways of achieving that, and acquisitions can be done without any harm to the other categories that I've mentioned. The bank aspires to have a 12% ROE, assuming a 60% growth in equity by 2025. What's the assumed growth of the dividend? Consensus is on 18.6 billion of accumulated profits in these years, which is about 60% of the equity as of end of Q3. Would that mean no dividend in this period? Like we said in the presentation, and Paweł said as well, our priority is to grow organically and to maintain our dividend policy. The other options are options, like acquisitions, for example. So if we can see that there is value to be made, then we will consider it. There's a number of things that speak in favor of our equity position. As rates go down, the negative valuation of our portfolio, which is about 11 billion, will be reversed from 7 to 3%. So half of the buffer should be freed up. High ROE, minimum of 12, but the ROE might even have the number 2 at the beginning. The same goes for cost income. Again, we have certain assumptions, but this path can be even more effective. So these are our ambition to be one of the most cost-effective banks in Europe. So we want to be able to develop very high performance, part of which will be shared with the shareholders by having a dividend of at least a similar level to the current one. We also want to employ other instruments like the buyback. There's a certain buffer to develop our bottom line, but these capital surpluses will make it possible for us to maintain high capital adequacy levels and also to make sure we have this surplus of money to be able to share these profits and the value we've generated with the shareholders. Given a 60% growth of the capital base, an ROE of 12%, will be about 6.3 billion net profit in 2025. Is this a rational assumption? I can't confirm or deny
prognoz i zresztą to jest też nasze takie dość konserwatywne podejście.
This is a very conservative approach, and these figures are obviously not unrealistic. As I look at them, I think there is potential at PKO BP to do more than that. So there are many other interesting numbers that we'll hopefully be able to report to you in the coming periods. So we are not shocked by this indicator at all.
Which credit segments are most promising and where the bank would like to grow its market share? Well, we do see the declining sales dynamics in mortgages. I believe that this is not going to be improved in the near future in a substantial way, but there is a very comprehensive offer of ESG lending for retail customers, SMEs, and corporate customers. And this is certainly the area that we want to create and grow and adequately support with advisory services. And traditionally, we have products for investments or consumer or loans, such as buy now and pay later. Which initiative is the most important to improve NPS? Well, thank you for this question. Unfortunately, we cannot name just one initiative while answering this question. The customer's propensity to choose the services of our bank is supported by a very reasonable decision-making process. So here we have the physical branches where customers may face advisors and have face-to-face contact, and they don't need to wait in line. So that's why we are going through the transformation of our physical outlets. And we want to have additional 150 modernized branches where customers do not need to wait in line to get cash. So cash withdrawals are fully automated, and therefore our advisors have more time for face-to-face interactions with the customers. So this is an opportunity for acquisition, but it's also the opportunity to educate our customers how to use digital tools. Speaking of digital tools, there is the entire ecosystem of the digital tools, and the quality of these tools will certainly encourage our customers to migrate to the digital platform, and they will certainly recommend our solutions. So Ecolite is the way we are going to open up our bank to the prospective customers who are not with us now. We want to build the reputation of the bank beyond the database, and that would certainly help monetize our solution, but also contribute to the customer experience. And if I may, to follow up on what I said earlier, 270,000 customers from Ukraine have opened up accounts, tabs, have accounts with us, and they have tabs in Ukrainian in our website, and they also use Ukrainian connections with when they call call center. So we have many people coming from Ukraine. I'm just giving you this as an example of how we want to tailor-made our products and services to align our offering to the needs and expectations of the customers. So across the group, so Ecantos and lease offering and insurance. With Ecantos, over 600,000 transactions for the month of September only. But we really want to be to reach out to the customers. And we want to further personalize the service, including the language of choice. So branches of the bank with no waiting in line. We automate support and services, processes that can be performed digitally, and all the services and products that will be available 24/7 from the comfort of the customer's home. Another question, what is the intended level of issuance, and how that may affect your interest income, and what would be the size of issuance in 2023, and what kind of instruments would be issued? Well, this is one of the regulatory themes. It's not going to be easier, but let's hope that it's not going to be much more difficult. I believe that that should not be a major challenge. 2 billion euro within the horizons of the strategy is what we intend to issue. But we need to optimize our operations in the risks area, and we believe that securitization can be a good way to go, because we would not need to issue expensive instruments. But 2 billion euro compared to 50-60 billion of total assets, this is not a critical parameter, but nevertheless, it will actually charge our income costs. However, it's not going to revert or affect the positive trajectory of our interest margin. And with the interest margin should be growing, and with the strategies that will support it, it should be sustainable trend. And as the interest rate in the market goes down, we believe that the lending action will move forward, and that would offset the possibly declining interest margin. That might be a challenge, but not a great challenge to our group. Now we have a set of questions about M&A. So let me read all the questions together, because it will take some time, but I believe that it should facilitate your answers. Now, which markets beyond Poland are the most attractive for M&A? Do you believe that you can have sufficient market share on other markets to make it a justifiable move? And what is the size of the targets that you consider for M&A? And what made the bank more open to M&A transactions in Poland and beyond Poland, and possibly beyond the banking sector? And what is the difference between your M&A strategy from the approach of your regional competitors? Are you interested in an M&A of the bank beyond Poland, and perhaps the banking tax may actually eliminate such ideas? So let me start from the end. No, the banking tax does not eliminate such possibilities. In terms of geography, obviously, we are looking at what's happening in Poland, and we are investigating the opportunities in Poland. And going beyond Poland, well, we are looking around in the region. And to be honest, there are very few prospective assets that can be of interest to us. So we are going to focus on realistic targets, so that we do not commit our resources, whether human or financial, to the projects that are slim likelihood of success. Depending on the market, we may look at the larger or smaller targets, and it all depends on the scale of the given market. When you ask about the value of transactions, it all depends on the two things, whether this is a leading player or whether one of the top 3 banks in the sector or in the country, and what country are we talking about, how big the country is. We definitely have no intention to launch any activities that would make a dent in our capital position or would strain our financial position. So we intend to focus on the assets that will be acquirable within our budget. And I understand that there is a question about the postal bank, Bank Pocztowy. Perhaps Marcin could take this question. As we have communicated that earlier in the official communication, we are engaged in this process. We are currently at the due diligence phase, and we will keep you informed whenever corporate decisions are made. So the process has been launched. It is in progress, and we will communicate the results. I think that we should mention that we are a shareholder, and this is a fairly small bank, so this is more about sort of sorting out things that we have in the group and identifying the synergies. This is not a material transaction that would change our business parameters or that would affect our capital adequacy. Another question. Does M&A that you intend, the scale, would call for the issuance of shares? No, at this point, we don't anticipate that. Have you thought about how much profit you want to use for dividend payout and buyback, or you want to keep your position flexible in terms of the possible or prospective mergers and acquisitions? Well, I think that we need to keep some flexibility here. The regulator will actually say how much capital we can share or how much profit we can share, but we have to say that we are satisfied with the current policy of the Financial Security Authority, that despite the challenging environment that we operate in, they appreciated our solid capital position and advanced risk management systems and the overall technology that we are using for this purpose, and therefore we were allowed to actually pay 2.3 billion zlotys, 50% of our profits, with the shareholders. So it was the dividend payout that we made in August. So we are going to continue this trend, obviously under the auspices and with the approval of the FSA, Polish FSA. Now, what the feedback that we got from the regulator is actually the follow-up on the policy that they launched earlier. And as our ratios continue to improve, and as we tend to address all the challenges that we are facing, because they are there, undoubtedly, we believe that we should be able to increase the level compared to what we paid before. But obviously that will be decided by the supervisory board and shareholders meeting. And first we have to be mindful of the regulations coming from the regulatory powers. So I believe that our capital strength makes us more positive. So we are looking upwards, really. Thank you. Okay, another question. What is your approach to interest rate risk management? Well, we don't really need or want to change anything here. I understand that this question is motivated by the expected interest rate cuts. But our experience shows that if you speculate on that, well, it's not a good idea. Last year, people were still thinking that with having negative interest rates, we may go to the negative territory. But then there was a rude awakening. So we continue to be conservative. And we have two measures. One, to protect ourselves against interest rate cuts. And another measure is to actually protect us against interest rate hikes. So it's going to stay in place. There is a range of questions about two things. First of all, mortgages in Swiss franc at the end of your strategy horizon and the provisions for legal risks during the duration of the strategy. In terms of the Swiss franc mortgages, I believe that at the end of 2025 we should have a zero balance here, and hopefully we should be able to do it together with the customers. We go through the intense settlement processes. Currently, we are rolling it out to include other segments of the customers, and I believe that our customers, hopefully because of the risk that they see, would decide to convert their mortgages into zlotys, given the declining interest rates that are expected in the future. That can be quite attractive proposal. Now, why we think that the costs of risk will be higher? Well, I think that this is like when you look at the water level in the river Thames. So the Thames can go up and down within short time intervals. And the same is true for the macroeconomic situation and the credit risk. If the macro environment is deteriorating and everyone agrees that the next 2 or 3 years will be more difficult, that affects the risk. But if it turns out that things are not going to be that bad as expected, please be assured that we will continue to keep the cost of risk low. In other words, we would be one of the banks with one of the lowest risk cost in the segment. Now, another range of questions about ESG. Well, you talk about the green bonds to be issued by PKO BP. When is that expected and what will be the size of that issuance? Well, these projects will be done on a continuous basis. We have already issued the first instruments as the green securities, covered bonds. So this is the first attempt, and I think that our investors should actually feel comfortable that they invest in the top quality instruments that are truly green, but they are not just greenwashed. So there is also an interesting discussion about what is truly green and what is just greenwashed. And that could be discussed on another occasion. But now we know that there is a sentiment in the market to favor green instruments, but overall there is no conducive sentiment that would favor issuers at large. So, but we will actually continue that trend and hopefully would be able to see some issuances. Another question. Since the PKO BP is going to be a leader in financing of sustainable and transformation-driven projects, what would be the share of such projects in your portfolio at the end of the strategy horizon? Well, this is where we are going to be very active, and here we speak about huge billions of zlotys. And I cannot quantify that with great precision right now, but when you look at the challenges that need to be addressed in terms of energy strategy. But ESG is about three things. There are three letters in that acronym. Each of them is important, and I think that we should not rank them or rate them. So, if you think about all these things, it is clear that we speak about many, many billions zlotys. And this is for the bank, for the entire capital sector and the banking sector. And this is also the challenge for our corporate customers. So this is a challenge, but at the same time, on the flip side, this is a huge business opportunity because we can invest with our customer, we can support their further growth and development, and we can make money for our shareholders. But at the same time, we are contributing to the positive trend where we turn around our living environment. And this is the environment that we all share, our families, our colleagues, everyone. And we believe that at the end of this process, we will have the competitive advantage. Clean energy, safe energy, that would be a value and that would drive other businesses in the future. So we will definitely help mobilize financing in billions of zlotys for our customers. Okay, so how do you want to avoid greenwashing risk in the ESG strategy? Well, thank you for this question. This is a truly legitimate question. I think that the Polish energy system offers such a huge potential to come up with the truly green transformation projects. I do not really see the risk of greenwashing because there is a multitude of the truly green energy projects, and we can honestly provide financing to such genuine green projects. So I do not perceive the greenwashing as a major risk to that. And the final question, which of the goals of the new strategy will be most difficult to attain? That's a tough question. When I look at the pillars of the strategy, I believe that each of them is like a unique and a difficult task that has to be tackled by the pillar owner. But from the strictly human point of view, well, we have to look at the people, at the internal things in the organization, attitude of people, turning around the teams, making the teams more interdisciplinary, having the more conducive environment so people feel more comfortable at work, but at the same time disciplined and aware of the need to keep things safe and secure. So all these pillars is very challenging, and it takes a lot of work from each responsible board member to accomplish that.
To już koniec sesji pytań i odpowiedzi.
So this is it for the Q&A session. Thank you very much for all the questions we have received. I hope we've been able to address them.
Dziękuję bardzo.